are safe at your home, right? Okay, we had discussed about chapter first, living world. Yesterday we had discussed about only the characteristics of living organism and the difference between living and non-living organism. Today we will discuss on different kind of varieties of living organism. Simply, first topic is the diversity in living organism. What is the meaning of diversity? Actually, at present we know that about the living organism because we had discussed on yesterday class, right? So you all know about the characteristics of living organism simply. So today we will discuss the various varieties or diversities of the living organism which are present in our environment simply. So what is diversity? Diversity means in our environment, in a different kind of living organism. It may be unicellular organism, bacteria, viruses, fungi, protista, plants and animals. Different varieties of living organism are present. So simply you can say that individually of all living organism we can't study about the single organism. Individually we cannot study about the all living organism which are present in our environment, simply in our diversity. Simply you can say that. Why? Because approx, according to the investigation, approx total number of living organism, it may be bacteria, it includes all bacteria, unicellular, prokaryotes, multicellular, all living organisms are approx 5 to 50 millions. So approx 5 to 50 millions living organism. The study of all these living organism individually is impossible for everyone. Simply we can say that it is impossible because 50 millions is a huge number. So individually about these living organism is impossible to study about these living organism and their characters, their function, their reproduction, their life processes is generally impossible. Out of these we know about only 1.7 to 1.8 million living organism only. Out of 5 to 50 approx, we know that in the entire universe about 50 million living organisms are present, but we know about only the 1.7 to 1.8 million only. Out of these 1.2 millions are animals, and out of these 1.2 million animals, the largest number of animals are of insecta class or arthropoda, because you had studied in the 9th class that insecta or arthropoda is the largest class of animal kingdom, largest phylum of animal kingdom. So largest number of living organism or living animals are present in class insecta or phylum arthropoda simply. And we know about only the 0.5 millions of plants. About the, it means only we know about the characters of plants of 0.5 million of plants. We know about these number of plants, their characters, their function and their different life processes only. So we at the present time we did not know about the rest of these living organism. We know about only the 1.7 to 1.5 million only. So this is a very like you can say that this is a very tough, you can say that tough criteria to know about any single individual, either it is a plant or it is a bacteria, it is a virus, whatever. So it is very difficult process, simply you can say that. So we cannot you can say that simply individually we cannot study all living organisms. So we need a classification of all these organisms. We need a classification. What is the need of classification? Actually, to simplify the criteria, scientists had decided if the similar characters organism we will characterized in a same group or a subgroup or a category. So we have like a you can say that we have a simply we can study about a single group, and the animals which are characterized in these group have the same character simply. So to simplify the to simplify this process to know about the living organism, scientists had decided and divided the living organism into different categories, into different taxa, into different groups and subgroup. So according to the similarities and dissimilarities of the characters. For example, plants. What is the meaning of plants? The living organism which perform photosynthesis are plants. So the living organism which have capability of photosynthesis, we had grouped into a same category, in a same phylum, is called Plantae, right? What is Animalia? Animalia means the living organism which are motile in nature, which are multicellular, which are eukaryotes, but they cannot synthesize their own food, and they are heterotrophs, in other words you can say that. So our scientists had characterized a phylum is called Animalia, in which the living organism which do not synthesize their own food are placed simply. Right. So what are fungi? Fungi are the living organisms, simply you can say that, which have root-like structure, which have capability of absorption, but because they do not have chlorophyll molecules, so they cannot synthesize their food. So fungi cannot placed in the phylum Animalia. So a separate phylum is made, is called fungi, in which that organism are placed, which have capability of absorption, but they cannot synthesize their own food. They feed on the dead organism. That kind of phylum is called simply fungi. You know about the 5 kingdom classification. 5 kingdom classification is that in which we had divided, we classify the living organism into only 5 phylums. First is the Monera, in which unicellular prokaryotes are placed. Unicellular prokaryotes means bacteria are placed. It means the living organism whose characters or functions are similar to bacteria are placed in the simply in Monera. It means we you know only about the characters of Monera. It means the animals which are present in Monera have same characters because they are placed in the same phylum. Similarly, what are Protista? Protista are the unicellular eukaryotes simply, right? So unicellular prokaryotes means amoeba, right? And protozoans, simply mosquito and all, these are the protozoans, right? And paramecium, these are the Protista simply. So they all have same characters. They all have same characters. That's why all these are placed in the same phylum is called Protista. Similarly, fungi, the living organism which have characters of absorption and feed on dead organism but do not synthesize their own food, all these are placed in a same phylum is called fungi. And next is Plantae and Animalia, and you know very well. So all living organisms are characterized into 5 phylums only. So this is the simplification, because individually 1.2 million animals and 0.5 million of plants study individually is impossible. So what we had done, we had classified the living organism into different phylums. We just learn about the different phylum characters, and the plants or animals or living organism which are placed under these phylums have same characters similarly. So this is the need why we classify the living organism, simply to simplify the all these diversity, the complex diversity of living organism. We need the classification. So what are the importance of classification? Simply, we have an idea about the diversity. Because of classification, we know about the diversity of living organism. We know about there are unicellular organism, there are multicellular organism, there are prokaryotes, eukaryotes, there are organisms which have capability to synthesize their food also. There are some animals, there are some living organisms which have capability of motility. They can move easily but they cannot synthesize their food. So we know all about the different characters of different living organisms which are present in our diversity. So classification generally gives the idea of different diversity. Next, it gives the light on the origin of a living organism. Through the classification, we know about the origin of living organism. Origin of living organism means it is unicellular, multicellular, prokaryotes or eukaryote. This is the origin. Origin, it is it has a cellular level of organization. It means it is made up of cell, tissue, organ or organ system. What is present in living organism? So this idea is generally arise from the classification only. Next important point is the evolutionary relationship. After the classification, actually we will know about the evolutionary relationship between the living organism. For example, I will give you a simplest example. For example, fishes. Fishes are completely aquatic. Next, amphibians. Amphibians have both character, aquatic as well as terrestrial. Next is the reptiles. They are completely terrestrial, right? After reptiles, aves are arise, which are terrestrial but they have capability of flying simply. After aves, mammals are arise, which have capability, which are completely terrestrial but they have more like a more developed body organization, which is not present in aves, reptiles, amphibians and fishes. So they are related to each other, but because they all are tetrapoda, they all are in the same order, tetrapoda, that's why it means they have 4 legs, 4 limbs, 1 2 3 4, 4 limbs are present in all fishes, amphibians, reptiles, aves and mammalia. Simply you can say that. So because they are simply you can say that they are resemble to tetrapoda, they are related to tetrapoda, that's why they all are in the same order, simply because they all have 4 limbs, that's why they are tetrapoda. But because their development according to the evolutionary history or according to the requirement of the environment, they change in their characteristics or develop their organ system according to the environment. So they become developed according to their requirement. So they from fishes to fishes is converted into amphibians, amphibians converted into reptiles, reptiles are converted into aves, and aves are after all converted into well developed living organism is called mammalia simply, right? So this is the evolutionary relationship, and all these tetrapoda have embryonic stage is similar. It means the embryonic stage in fishes, either in fish, either in amphibians, either in reptiles and aves and mammalia, are same because they are tetrapoda. So this is the evolutionary relationship, evolutionary history through which they arise from each other, simply you can say that. So this is all about the needs of classification. Next is the taxonomy. What is the meaning of taxonomy? Taxonomy is a branch of science, branch of biology, which deals with the principle and procedure of classification simply. This is the class, this is the study on basis we classify the living organism. How we classify the living organism? Firstly, we characterize any living organism. Firstly, we find out the what characters are present in that living organism. It have capability of synthesize their food or not, they have capability of motility or not. So these are the characters. Firstly, we firstly we identify the characters. After the characterization, then we identify these characters are present in Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae or Animalia, because we know about the all these phylums characters. So we identify this character is resemble with which phylum, from Monera, Protista and fungi, Plantae and Animalia. So after this we nomenclature this living organism. Nomenclature means a fixed name we will give, which is understood all over the world simply. A specific, a scientific name which is acceptable all over the world. For example, the scientific name of human being is Homo sapiens simply. So Homo sapiens means human being all over the world. This scientific name is acceptable. According the, if I will use a name Homo sapiens, then you immediately you have immediately a strike in your mind that Homo sapiens means is a human being. She tell about the human being, he tell about the human being, simply you can say that, right? After the nomenclature we classify. It means the living organism is placed in Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae or Animalia. In which class we will need to place this living organism. So this is the taxonomy simply. On the basis of taxonomy, actually we classify the organism, and for the classification we need to all these steps. First is the characterization, next is the identification, then is the nomenclature. After the nomenclature we classify the living organism simply. right? So this is about the taxonomy. Next is the systematics. What is the meaning of systematics? Okay, we had classified the living organism, we characterize the living organism, nomenclature the living organism. After this, the next step is arise. What is the systematics? Systematics means systematically you arrange the living organism. Firstly, the term systematic was given by a scientist, Carl Linnaeus. The scientist gave this term is systematics. According to Linnaeus, the diversity of organism and their evolutionary relationship is systematics. Actually, we classify the organism according to this evolutionary relationship. Simply, you can say that. Like you cannot place fishes after the mammalia or after the reptiles, right? Fishes are placed firstly, then the amphibians, then the reptiles, then aves, and then mammalia, because the evolutionary relationship. Firstly, fishes are arised. Fishes has change in their characters according to the requirement of the environment. Then they are transferred into the amphibians. Amphibians are transferred into the reptilia, then aves and mammals according to the requirement. So we cannot place mammalia before the reptile or before the fishes. Simply you can say that. So the evolutionary relationship actually of living organism is based on their diversity. Diversity of organism and their evolutionary relationship is actually called systematic. This is the systematic of a living organism to place in a systematic classification, in a systematic phylum, in a systematic class, or in a systematic order simply, right? In according to modern taxonomy, what is modern taxonomy? It is based on the on which taxonomy actually based? It is based on the external and internal character of any cell. External and internal character of any cell, cell structure, their development, their ecological information. What is ecological information? Simply how it react in the presence of high temperature or high pressure, in any ecological condition, how a cell, living organism is react is called ecological information. So generally taxonomy is based on the internal and external structure of cell, their structure, their function, their ecological relation, simply information. So this is all about the diversity. Your next topic is the nomenclature. How we nomenclature or name the any living organism. At which basis we name give a scientific name any living organism. So we will discuss this nomenclature in our next lecture.